Okay, so Mongoose, when we're using routes, there's a lot of these methods like .find, .save. These are querying methods. There's also updating methods. So when we do something like an update, let's look at this other file that we had going. When we're doing an update, like a find one and update, we say, go find this one, update it with this object. If we don't want to update it with an object, if we want to say update this property to be something specific, we can, instead of saying rec.body, we can provide our own object here and tell it what to update. So we're going to do that with our books right now because we built in the ability for a book to be liked. So if someone clicks the like button, we want to increment that number by 1. The user, we shouldn't have to write an Axios request in the front end that says this is the current like number, make the new like number that number plus 1. We should just be able to tell the database to say, find the likes for this book and make it 1 more than it was before. And that way the database is handling the update. We're not giving it the information to update it with. So what does that look like? Well, we need to make a update route for our books. So add like. Put request, and we would say book router.put, and it will probably be to something like _ID, the book ID that we're trying to update. This one's author ID because we're sending the author ID for the post. This is a regular update to the book object. And say book.find one and update. Now, what's the first argument of a find one and update again? The criteria of which one to update. So find the one that has the ID equal to the params ID we sent. That's the one we want to update. Then we give it what to update it with. Now, if it was like a new object, like, oh, we need to change the title or update the description, we could just send rec.body here. But what we want to do is this is for upvoting. So I'm actually going to change this for liking. I'm going to add like to the end of that just so we know what this endpoint is for. So I'm going to provide my own update object. And I'm going to say, use the increment command. So $sign is used in a lot of these methods. And they're just like using a string method, string.split, something like that. It's its own little method for updating a specific way. So a lot of these, the syntax will go as first we name the method we're going to use, and then we give it an object to say, what are you updating and how? So you're going to use this command on the following property. The property we want to update is likes. And we want to increment it by 1. So the way this reads, it says, find the book by this ID and increment its likes by 1. If it was a dislike, we'd say increment it by -1. And it's going to do the update for us. It doesn't need to know what the old number was. It's going to go find it for us and add 1 to it. That way, if 100 people are on your site and click like all at once, the count is appropriately updated. You know, if we had 100 people using the same, currently it has 5 likes, they all hit like at the same time, and we sent our own 5 number back, well, the likes will end up being 6, even though 100 people disliked it, if that makes sense. If we make the database do it, say database increment this from what it previously was, it'll make sure it increments the value appropriately. But we'd still want the new object back, and then we get our error or our updated book to send back to the user. Yeah, any questions while I'm filling this out? Yeah, like we'd have to write on the front end, we'd have to write some logic in here first to find the user requesting it and say, hey, have they already liked this book? Don't allow them to like again. So we're focusing more on just like, how do we use a $sign method to perform an update versus using the request body.
So if you're going to use that same $sign method to reduce by 1, use -1 instead.
Yeah.
What happens when you start throwing negative and you want to say it? I mean, it can't have more than.
Yeah, so first you go find the book, you'd say book.find1. Then you'd say, is its likes greater than or equal to 0 or greater than 0? If so, let it do the decrement update.
You would have that logic here?
Yep. Or on the front end, we'd restrict it. If it's currently at 0 likes, they can't click a dislike button or something like that. Updated book. Okay, so here's the route. update this book, increment its likes by 1, give us back the new one, and then call this callback when you're done with the process. So the endpoint is /books/like/book ID. So we're going to update the Da Vinci Code. We'll grab the ID, and the / will be books/likes/the book ID. And we're sending it as a put request, but am I sending anything rec.body-wise? Does my put request need a request body? Yeah, it's really nice. I don't actually have to send what to update it with. The route is handling the update with this command. It's super nice. So we have Da Vinci Code right now with 0 likes. We'll hit send. Cannot put the book's likes. What did I not do the right endpoint? Like. Okay. Like. All right, now it has 1 like. Someone else clicks it. Now it has 2 likes, 3 likes, 4 likes. And that method will just keep updating without us having to send any sort of update object. This can be completely empty, and it's still going to work. Cool. So $ methods, they're super powerful. And there's a lot of them that share JavaScript data type methods. So let's say we have an array of ingredients. You're doing an alcohol database like we did with drinks, and you need to push a new ingredient into the array. Well, there's a $ push. We can say push into the ingredients array the vodka, vodka, or the rec dot, query dot new ingredient or something like that. However, we're sending the data back, but we could push it into an array. We could also say, oops, we added too many ingredients. Let's pull vodka out of the ingredients. Right, so there's a lot of these methods, and the syntax is very similar on most of them. You name the method, and then you say, this is what I want you to update it with. Now, what if I wanted to add one to the likes and add an ingredient? Even though that doesn't make any sense, maybe that's, something like that is needed. So we say push into likes, not push, increment likes by 1, and then push into the ingredients vodka. And now we're performing 2 updates at once. Okay. Right, you don't want, it has to be the second argument is the update. So wherever this comma happens means the update object is done. So you'd have to keep adding these nested objects. And a lot of times you'll see it like this, increment likes, push in ingredients, something like that. It looks nice, I think. That might look even nicer. Okay, we will revisit this and look at a few more, but you have materials you can learn. Self-learning is great. So you'd look up $push, for example, MongoDB.
Is that like the
Nope, it's MongoDB. So we could go to the MongoDB manual because that's what Mongoose is using. It's just using MongoDB methods. And we could see all of the $ methods they offer. So with arrays, we have pop, pull, push, pull all, pull everything out of an array, slice an array, sort an array, like all sorts of updates we can do with methods. We don't have to write the logic for these. It's built into MongoDB. Field update operators, that's where we get increment, find the current date, make a set, aggregations. There's so many. MongoDB is a huge library. Lots of things we can do. Lots of things we can do. So start with a couple. Increment, push, pull, these are all very useful. And we'll look at one later for regular expressions, so you could do a search, kind of build up a basic search on your database. Find all drinks to start with the letter V and have that work.